After the tumultuous journey through the dead mines, Cumsoup finds himself battered but not broken. With only 5 silver left in his pocket and the bitter taste of gambling losses fresh in his mouth, Cumsoup resolves to turn his fortunes around. After Cumsoup mined coal for several days straight, he is greeted by the sight of a peculiar figure, a gnome named Julma Goblin, known for his cunning and strategic mind, and for being mistaken for a garden gnome more than once. Julma Goblin has a proposition: assist him in dealing with a band of marauding orcs in the Red Ridge Mountains and the homeless who have been causing chaos in the Stormwind prison. In return, Julma Goblin promises to share a map leading to a hidden treasure buried inside the Shadowfang Keep. Intrigued and desperate, Cumsoup agrees to join Julma Goblin on this quest. Along the way, they encounter Pahaimenta, a mysterious and edgy-looking warlock who decides to accompany them.
I wake up at the local gambling addicts rehab center and am greeted by the gayest-looking gnome ever. He tells me that he found me at the side of a cliff near dead mines, looking at the sunset. The constant coal mining took a toll on my body, but at least I got paid well. I swear that I will never gamble again and replace my habit with something more productive, like day drinking. Julma Goblin is not fond of my new hobby, so I force him to cosplay a Jew in 1943.
I'm going down to the house of sausage.
I won't be bossed around by a man whose eyes are on the same level as my balls. We head outside from the rehab center and realize that we are in the worst place imaginable, Australia. This can be seen from the average size of the local spiders, which we execute with grace. After making the local wildlife our bitch, we focus on more threatening foes, the blacks. I mean the black orcs. As a paladin, it is my duty to kill everything that looks ugly, so we begin our crusade against the blacks.
Bounty target identified. Slot the bastard.
First, we need to form an eradication party. Let me introduce it to you. We've got Julma Goblin, a rogue who can't sap properly without pulling at least 3 mobs. Next in line is a warlock, Pahaimenta, whose specialty is running out of mana before the fight even begins. Yours truly, a tank paladin who can't hold up aggro. To top it all off, we add 2 random strangers from World Chat called Zopmaz and Machiki to our party. We head off to the elite Black Orc Zone, better known as the Hood. They put up a fierce resistance but are no match for our squad. Just kidding, we wipe at the next pull, and I res our party. Finally, we get to the boss room, but some fuckers have already killed the boss, so we make ourselves comfortable.
Bartender says, "Hey, where'd you get that?" The parrot says, "Duratar, they got them all over the place."
My TED Talk is successful, but you know what is not? Our first attempt at killing the boss. There is one horde player at the corner of the room wanking to our misery. After a fucking marathon run back to our corpses, we are ready for our second attempt. This time we are successful, but Julma Goblin and Pahaimenta decide to pull a little prank on me. They don't get the head.
So no head?
Not that kind of orc.
The strangers promise that we will come back and get the head after another quest.
That's still
As classic WoW's community is totally wholesome and definitely not on par with League of Legends, I trust them. We make our way a third time to the boss and wipe almost instantly, but because of the amazing people and community this game has, we are determined to try again. Just kidding, these fuckers leave our party faster than a fat kid chasing an ice cream truck. You know how the saying goes, wish in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one gets full first this time. Not only are my hands in shit, but so is our party. Our fourth attempt goes smoothly, and my friends finally decide that it's time to loot his head and end my misery. We head back to town for our rewards and decide to call it a day. I hear strange whispers in my sleep.
There is more homeless to kill. Fulfill your destiny. Sucking dick is better than I
Wake up cuddling with Cumsoup and some other midget in Jeffrey Epstein's basement. I can't believe it. There are still homeless left from our crusade. We invite more people for our quest to beat the homeless and start our slaughter. Welfare check denied. Welfare check denied. Welfare check denied. Our first boss is Cough, a big black homeless person.
Denied.
After that is a big fat homeless person. The boss design is phenomenal in World of Warcraft. This is why I subscribed. We clean the dungeon of all the homeless and kill their leader. Finally, the threat has been neutralized. Next, we decide to do the most boring quest ever. It consists of, get this, waiting. To pass the time, I decide to hone my riz. The baddies want to know where our long-lost friend Cumsoup is. Let's just say he's got other business to take care of. After waiting what feels like an eternity, the quest starts. We play a game of public agent with the local gnome. He tells us that Lord Gregor Leskovar is a bad guy. But I already knew this because he's black. We slay the traitors and get rewarded with the most op wedding ring ever. The ring gives us 3 strength, 3 agility, 4 stamina, 4 intellect, and 3 spirit. We are officially Balan right now. But there is more loot to be found in the north. At the forest of Silverpine, there is a dungeon called Shadowfang Keep. What makes this dungeon special? It is infected by furries, and as a paladin, it is my duty to destroy this godforsaken, cum-stenching castle and make sure they don't reproduce. Also, there is a dank-ass shield that I want for myself. But like anything cool in WoW, it is located at bumfuck nowhere, where you need to run for ages to get to. While running to the instance, we are greeted by this undead priest who pranks us by killing our group and mind-controlling me to jump from a bridge. I love this community. We return the favor by bullying this low-level Tauren to Shadow Realm. There is no place for the weak in this world. We get to the dungeon and are so ready to kill some furries. At the door, we are greeted by a local public speaker who tells us that by investing in his crypto coin called Furry Rocket, we could be millionaires by the end of the year. This place is worse than I thought. As the furries survive extensive amounts of time with limited resources like pizza leftovers and their parents' tears, they put up a fierce fight. We find a captured Discord mod in the dungeon who promises to help us if we release him. We agree and make our way to the boss who drops the shield that I want. He has this ability that can be compared to ordering a Big Mac at McDonald's after an 8-hour bender at the bar. It feels like fucking forever to get your food, and so does killing this boss. We finally take him down, and I am rewarded with the coolest shield ever. To show off how good of a player I am, I decide to use one of my new abilities that fears an undead mob. The mob runs to get his friends into the action, and we are forced to flee out of the instance. Certified pro gamer moment. After a little run, we get to the next boss. The dog that doesn't bite should have brought a Chinese party member for all these dogs.
Who dare
interfere with the sons of Aragal.
Anyway, we finally find the public speaker, who is responsible for all these furries.
You too shall serve.
He almost turns me into a furry by making a fursona out of me, but the years of watching live leak gore videos make me come to my senses. Cumsoup goes down. I won't let him make furries out of us. We use our secret weapon, which is a list of available jobs on Craigslist. The power of a reality check is too much for him, and he goes down.
With the threat of the furries and homeless finally eradicated, Cumsoup, Julmagoblin, Cumcycle, and Pahimenta stood victorious in the heart of Stormwind. The city's citizens cheered as their heroes returned, the burden of unemployment lifted, and the city safe once more. However, unknown to the jubilant crowd, a new threat was quietly brewing in the north. In the remote, dark regions beyond the known borders, a new force was rising. They called themselves the Redditors, and their influence was spreading like a virus through the Azeroth. These cunning, overweight manipulators of information and masters of controversial hot takes had already begun to cast a long, dark shadow over the land.
Wielkie jak